the past 2 years, the seniors and faculty have been battling it out on PNN's Senior Faculty Decathlon. It's the PNN segment where we come up with 10 events and the seniors and the faculty battle it out in competition for bragging rights and, of course, the Decathlon trophy. In the first year, the juniors blew away the seniors by a score of 8-2. Last year, the students came back and won by the score of 6-4. So this year, the rivalry had been set and both teams did not want to lose the rubber match. But of course, someone has to come out on top. We came up with some interesting contests that have never been done in any other decathlon and let the team coaches choose their teams they felt best suited for each activity. Ed Jones represented the seniors while Mr. Lambersi coached for the faculty. Since there are 10 events in a decathlon, in the event of a tie, Ed and Lambo agreed to settle the tie by having the two coaches arm wrestle against each other. We'll see if it comes to that or not in just a little bit. But for now, let's get into the competition with our first event.
A traditional round of golf would take too long, so PNN created the closest to the pin challenge as the next decathlon event. Players would each shoot 10 golf balls towards a target 100 yards away. Landing the ball inside the white circle got you 0 feet, and everything outside the circle would be measured and added up for a total distance. The lowest distance would win the contest. Senior golf team member John Woodward represented the students, and longtime golfer Mr. Rick Parker swung the clubs for the teachers. Both thought they had enough experience to win the contest.
I think we can get the job done here today. I've been playing for a while, and hopefully I can get some good shots today.
Just hit the ball, do what I have to do, keep calm. I don't have any competition to worry about because he's not here, so just do my best.
Mr. Parker shot first and started off on fire. His first couple shots landed just a few feet from the circle, giving him a distinct edge. He had a couple of shots that really went nowhere he intended them to go, but 2 of his last shots landed and stayed in the circle. 1 even hit the intended target. Mr. Parker was pleased with his shooting, and Mr. Wells walked off the distance of his other shots, a total of 155 feet away from the pin that would be tough to beat. John stepped up and felt very good about his first few swings as he landed 1 ball inside the circle and another just a few feet away. But the more he shot, the further he seemed to get away from the target. A couple of shots were nowhere near the pin, making his chances for a win harder. After his 10 shots, the foot measurement was used again to walk off the distance, which totaled 240 feet, almost 100 feet too much, giving Mr. Parker an easy win.
My math is correct, and I think it is. That's 15 feet away on average, so 100 yards, I'll take that.
I just didn't get enough in the circle. If I made a couple more in the circle, I'd be fine. If I didn't have those 2 bad shots, I'd be fine. So, windy day, wrong club in my hand anyway, so.
Well, it's all for the faculty. I mean, just one little piece to the puzzle, that's all, and dominating the seniors again, so life is good.
A close competition, but nonetheless another win for the teachers and closest to the pin.
One of the senior faculty challenges that the seniors thought they would be able to pull off was racquetball. The best of the best played a best of 3 series up to 15. Representing the seniors was senior Billy Crosby, and representing the faculty was Mr. Zimmerman.
Well, I hear he's a good player, and he's been practicing a long time for this match, so I'm looking forward to a great challenge.
I mean, it's going to be a close game. I hope it is, and we'll see what happens. Best man wins.
Crosby started off the game pretty confident, but as soon as it started, he fell apart. Crosby tried coming back, but by that time, it was too late. After a 15-2 loss Crosby experienced in the first game, he really had to step it up for game 2. Crosby had some good angles on his shots, but it seemed like it just wasn't enough. It was close, but once again, Zimmerman came out on top, defeating Crosby by the score of 15-9.
First game just wasn't on at all. I mean, I wasn't hitting my shots, wasn't running. He played good. I mean, there's nothing I could do for it.
Pretty decent. A little bit out of breath. He had me running ragged out there.
Once again, the teachers prevail with another victory over the seniors thanks to Mr. Zimmerman. Signing off for PNN, I'm Jay Burke. most unique Decathlon challenge of the year was the event called disc golf. The game is played much like regular golf, only throwing a frisbee-like contraption and aiming at baskets located between 200 to 400 feet away. Mr. Chuck Gleason, a seasoned pro at the game, was chosen for the faculty, while first-timer Giancarlo Macapagal represented the students. Even though he had never played, he was still hopeful in the contest.
I'm not that sure, but all I know is that I could throw the disc pretty good. I don't know about him over there, but yeah, I think I could do pretty good. Yeah.
It's going to be pretty easy. I don't think he's much competition. I think I've got it pretty well wrapped up.
From the first throw of the game, you could see this was going to be a blowout for the teachers. Gleason's smooth delivery and incredible distance put him in the position to make easy baskets on the first few holes, giving him a big lead after only 8 holes. Giancarlo struggled. He found out quickly that throwing a frisbee was much different than throwing a disc through the woods. He did have a few shots that made it seem like he knew what he was doing, but in the end, his inexperience proved his downfall. Mr. Gleason, on the other hand, stayed strong and consistent. Tree branches, sharp curves, and a slight wind were no obstacle for this disc player. After 18 holes, Gleason took the easy victory, winning by 17 strokes, 82 to 65.
I think the key to victory was having a lower score. 17 strokes. I think I averaged beating him by a stroke on each hole. That's kind of what I expected. There were a couple doozies, took a couple of 5s, a couple of 6s, but overall, I think I hung pretty strong.
It was muddy and it was sunny outside. Even though I had my shades, didn't help. I think I won 1 or 2. And I got even with him like 2 or 3 of them. I felt pretty good on that one.
Another easy victory for the teachers, as Mr. Gleason takes Giancarlo in disc golf.
Not all the decathlon events were athletically inclined, so to make sure all the bases were covered, PNN dug into the board game storage closet for the classic game of Connect 4. Everyone knows how to play. Get your chips to connect 4 in a row and you win. The first person to win 4 games would win this challenge. The seniors sent in Harry Boskamp for the event, and Mr. Sean Mahar represented the teachers. Both competitors were hoping their practice would pay off.
I've been practicing basically usually in school sometime during study period on paper and everything, so we'll see if that pays off or not.
I feel confident going into today's competition. I hope I don't get embarrassed though.
I'm just going to try my best and hopefully win all 4 of these right away. We're going to need them.
The game started kind of slow, as each player took his time to find just the right move. After about 10 minutes, Mahar made a crucial mistake that Boskamp capitalized on, and the seniors were up 1-0. Mahar tried to regroup his thoughts and get refocused for Game 2, and whatever he did worked. They changed from a small travel-size board to the full-size edition. That seemed to help too. He outsmarted Boskamp with some swift moves to tie the game at 1-1. Unfortunately for Mahar, that was the only game that would go in his favor for the rest of the match. Boskamp kept finding ways to win and just plain outsmarted Mahar on the next 3 games to take the contest victory by the score of 4-1. This was a much-needed win for the seniors in Connect 4, but could it be enough in the long run?
Two challengers, 10 shots, 10 saves, 10 chances. Senior Allison Conquest versus Kruswick Jureski. Senior Akin Renate versus Jeff Fairbairn.
In this challenge, each opponent will be the other's goalie and will try to outshoot one another in penalty kicks.
I got picked because I'm Coach Ski's roommate and I was delegated to do this event. So, and I think I'll do okay. It'll be tough. Akin's pretty good.
Well, today's competition, I think I'm going to do pretty well. I'm pretty good at goal kicks, so unless, something goes wrong and, I choke, but I'm pretty good at penalty kicks. And
I was picked because I guess they think I'm good at soccer or something like that. I hope I win because some people beat up on that.
I think that I'm going to do okay, hopefully. I'm not very good at PKs, but we'll see what we can do. Competition is probably average, the same with me, so whoever wins, wins.
Both teams stretched and prepped in order to loosen up for the game. As time grew closer for the games to begin, each team was all smiles and confident they would defeat the opposing team. But as we all know, there can only be one winner. Seniors and faculty both put up a tough fight and brought their A games, making it an entertaining match. Each member of each team seemed rather focused on winning the game, as they all had one thing on their minds: get the ball in the net and win the game. Drosky and Akeen both had a little trouble putting the ball into the net, but it was a cool breeze for Fairbairn. The game continued on with a close score of 17-18 seniors. But Drosky and Fairbairn started to pull through and save more and more shots. Annie and Akeen couldn't hold up to the pressure. Unfortunately, it seems as though Mr. Fairbairn and Mrs. Drosky brought forth a little more fire than the seniors, winning the game and bragging rights over the seniors with a score of 19-20 overall. Both teams showed good sportsmanship and were able to shake hands, acknowledging each other for a job well done. Hopefully, the other seniors were able to come out victorious over the faculty. Congrats to both teams for a job well done.
The next event in the decathlon was a highly anticipated one, swimming. It was a big event because the star swimmer on our high school varsity boys swim team was going up against the man who taught him everything he knows about swimming, Coach Matt Pavlovich.
Well, the teachers looked at which events we'd be good at, and obviously with being the swim coach, it was a good fit. I used to swim in high school here at Maryville, and then I swam at Bell State. So, I've got some good competitive history, and I think it's going to be a good, fun race.
I feel I'm the best candidate for this because I've been swimming since I was like 5 years old, and I'm pretty fast, and I think I can beat Coach Pav because he's slow.
Scott has been swimming since the age of 5. Having all this practice up his sleeve made him the best senior candidate to go up against Coach Pavlovich. Coach Pavlovich was also a star swimmer on his high school varsity boys swim team. After graduating from high school, Pavlovich went on to college and was on Ball State's swim team as well. Before the race was about to get started, both swimmers were very nervous and had a lot to say about their opponent.
Basically, he better stop thinking he's going to win because he's going down.
Well, we'll see who touches the wall first.
It was a 50-meter race consisting of each other's best stroke. Stevens' best stroke was the breaststroke, and Coach Pavlovich being better at the butterfly stroke. Coach Pavlovich was a little rusty, so he needed to warm up. After Pavlovich had his swimming skills polished up, the swimmers were ready to go. They got on their marks, and the timer was ready. The timer counted down, and they were off. They started off good, Coach Pavlovich just a smidge ahead of Stevens. As they got closer to the turnaround, it looked like Stevens was gaining, but as they got closer and closer to the end, it was clear Coach Pavlovich was going to win.
I feel it was a good race, We were together like the whole way, but he won by a little bit.
Pretty good. It was a good race, close race. Had the lead by a little bit going into the turn. Butterfly was my best stroke that first 25, and just tried to hold on to it at the end. So Scott did a great job. It was a great race, and very close.
That's another win for the faculty in the swimming event for the decathlon.
3-on-3 volleyball was the event this time. The senior team consisted of Stephanie Pavlich, Erica Aloya, and Colin McDonald, while the faculty team consisted of Miss Amy Beckham, Miss Lori Kovac, and Mr. Mark Sosalski. Both teams came ready to play and were convinced they would pull through with a victory.
I think my team's chances are excellent. Couldn't ask for a better team. With Beckham, I'm there for the set, and Ski, I'm there for the hit, and Kovac, I'm in my circle. Hope no ball comes to me.
Their gentleman on their team doesn't look too good at this point. I think we have them beat there with Ski.
Obviously, Miss Kovac is pretty tall, and of course, Miss Beckham's really fast. She's in shape and everything, so I don't know. We've never played together. We'll just see how we do.
I think there's a little bit of problems, but as we walked in here and we saw you guys practicing, I think it got boosted up.
And then the game begins. The faculty started off strong, gaining a 5-0 lead that ended when Miss Kovac missed her serve. After racking a mere 1 point, the seniors started to make little mistakes that put the faculty further in the lead. Later in the game, the seniors started to pick it up, and the lights started going out for the faculty. Literally. This gave seniors time to get their act together. started dropping shots on the other side of the court. But even with the nice plays they had, it was no match for Mr. Soselski's powerhouse hits. The game ended with a score of 21-11 faculty. But it wasn't over yet. Seniors still had a chance. They were playing best 2 out of 3. The second game started off no better than the first, with Miss Beckham's hot shot jump serves helping to take the lead. Tempers started flaring on both sides, and the game started to get more intense. From Colin's lack of coordination to Miss Kovach's small range that she refused a step out of, both teams were letting little things get to each other. The seniors started using the faculty's lack of flexibility to their advantage, acquiring several points by putting the ball all over the court. But the faculty's determination kept them in the game and easily overpowered the seniors 21-9. This win ensured another decathlon victory for the faculty. After this upsetting loss for the seniors, they had much to say.
We didn't really hustle as much as we should have. We made a lot of stupid mistakes.
We pretty much just handled them easily.
It took a while for us to mesh together, and by then, but too little too late type of thing.
We knew from the beginning there was no choice, and now I'm going to get
Our next event is the treadmill. The object of this game is for each player to run a total of 15 minutes. Whoever is the one to run the furthest distance is declared the winner. Representing the seniors is Dwayne Brown, who has a history of participating on Maryville track. And for the faculty, Mr. Staley, who is just a regular math teacher here at MHS.
I'm challenging Mr. Staley because, you know what I'm saying, he challenged me in his classroom in math, but it's a different story in the weight room. You know what I'm saying? I think I can get him. He a chump when it comes to weightlifting. Look how little he is.
It's going to be hard to beat him. You know what? I'm not going to trash talk him because he's such a good runner. I just want to make sure I come out of this alive. So I hope that, I can be helpful with the faculty and pull one out for the faculty over the seniors. So go faculty.
Mr. Staley prepared himself by stretching while Dwayne was more concerned of tying his shoes. Both players were ready and the clock was started. Brown was already running into trouble. Dwayne was having difficulty starting his treadmill. This mishap cost the seniors valuable time. As for the faculty, Mr. Staley got off to a smooth, relaxing pace. Dwayne had a nice long stride on the treadmill, which could be an advantage in the long run. Mr. Staley was looking pretty tired as Dwayne tried to take his focus off by saying some comments. Mr. Staley was short in his response, but really didn't let it get to him. As time went on, Staley and Brown were beginning to keep pace with each other, but didn't last for long. Faculty member Mr. Lambo showed up to push Staley for a faculty win. Brown was determined and made this event seem like a piece of cake. Time was up. Staley and Brown both stopped their treadmills, and the victor was a whole half a mile ahead. Winning with a distance of 1.8 miles, Mr. Staley was named winner of the treadmill. Another faculty win.
Hands up to Dwayne Brown, good sport. He knows I like to run, and I haven't run a whole lot lately, but he was a good sport coming out, and he gave me a great challenge. We enjoyed it, and go faculty.
It's cool, you know what I'm saying? I held it down for 06. He ran a marathon, so it's good to know I kept up with him. It was nothing, you know what I'm saying? I had to do what I had to do.
Seniors ran a total distance of 1.5 miles, but Dwayne was still able to represent his class of 06.
Adding some fun to the decathlon, the water balloon toss was the next event. Teams would go toe-to-toe tossing balloons until they would break. The first team to win 4 games would be declared the winner. Miss Hayes and late fill-in Mr. Sonnenberg represented the teachers, while Dwight Harding and Z. Parker were the confident seniors.
I don't really have a plan. I'm just going to win.
Exactly. We don't need a plan. We just go for it. We're not teachers. We're just students. We're young. We just go for it. We don't plan stuff out because when we plan stuff out, it usually fails.
We prefer not to divulge that information as our opponents are standing right over there.
I don't even know what divulge means.
And I don't even know what divulge means, so
I know.
I'm not offended.
We just came back from LA. We did this for a couple weeks out there for the national LA
water balloon tossing championships.
So, yeah. And then after we win, I'm going to hit you with a water balloon.
Exactly.
That's a promise.
As she said, you're getting divulged.
I don't think that really works there. You need to teach math.
The teachers started off on fire, connecting with a smooth toss and catch strategy that had the seniors worried. A couple of bad breaks for the seniors put them in the hole down 2-0, and the teachers looked like they were headed for another decathlon win. But the seniors picked it up, experimenting with a new toss strategy that seemed to be working. And Mr. Sonnenberg did just the opposite. He started missing and breaking balloons, and before you know it, it was tied at 2-2. The seniors stayed strong, and the teachers' woes continued, as both Miss Hayes and Mr. Sonnenberg were getting quite wet. After yet another bad break by Sonnenberg, the seniors declared victory by the score of 4-2.
I told you it was going to win, and plus, they have strategized, and plus they got a balloon in their heads. I'm going to run now.
Much like the Cubs right now, we just didn't have it at all.
No comment.
I'm pretty much going to blame this loss on Sonnenberg.
I've been a loser for years. I'm cool with it. I settle for mediocrity or a little bit lower.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. You see this right here?
I can't throw in, I can't catch.
You can't throw, you jelly over it. Yeah.
I can't wait till January 1st, 07, so all that stupid 06 is done.
Congratulations, they won this fair and square.
A much-needed win for the seniors in the water balloon toss.
If you counted correctly, that's 7. That's right, 7 wins for the teachers and only 2 for the seniors. There's one event remaining, and it was supposed to be a paintball challenge between a senior team and a teacher team, but we couldn't get a location to work with us and had to cancel that event, which is too bad because from what I hear, the teachers would have gotten slaughtered in that one. So it really didn't matter what event we did to cap off the decathlon because the teachers won it anyways. But to make things interesting, we decided to go ahead and let Lambo and Ed battle it out.
The matchup of the century, or at least that's what Ed Jones called it, the English teacher who lifts weights and works out 2 to 3 times a week against the man who has been in the weight room only once, and that was to help clean it. The 2 decathlon coaches were set for the matchup and confident in their abilities.
Well, we always said if it came to a 5-5 tie, the coaches would simply duke it out themselves.
Well, I'm pumped about this decision. You know, I'm ready to take down Lambo.
Ed Jones, I mean, you should be 100% guaranteed that I win.
I know I can beat Lambo because Lambo is as girly as a strawberry daiquiri.
You know, if Ed Jones could beat me, I might think about raising his final grade a little bit. He needs the help.
The 2 competitors had talked about this day all year, and finally, after all the trash talking, they would see who was the stronger man. Arm wrestling, mano y mano.
Come on, Ed. Come on, Ed. You're nothing, Ed. You're nothing, Ed. I'm going to hold it here for a while. I'm going to hold it here for a while and make you struggle. Oh!
I want to test for steroids. I seen them, you know, before the match. I demand a...
No, it wasn't. I mean, I kind of expected that it was Ed Jones.
Well, in the match, I didn't have... I tried to, you know, take Lambo down, but he overpowered me. I don't know what happened.
After the big win, Lambo couldn't help but rip Ed about the entire decathlon.
You know what? I honestly, I thought that was the greatest move in the world, putting Ed Jones as coach, because he was like picking people who never played disc golf before to play disc golf. It's kind of weird on that part. And just pretty much randomly picking the first people who said something to him. That's not good coaching.
All right, I picked the cream of the crop this year. It's just that the cream of the crop were not the best. Now, some of those sports like disc golf wasn't my fault. You know, I had people tell me, yeah, I play disc golf all the time. I'm the greatest disc golf player in the world. No, you weren't. We all know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say your name.
No surprises here. Another easy win for the teachers.
Not quite a clean sweep for the teachers, but a dominating victory nonetheless. It seems this was the first year where the majority of the wins were blowouts. The seniors may have won the basketball game this year, but at least that game was close. Anyways, congratulations to the faculty for the big win. You now have bragging rights for at least 1 year, and we'll see what the class of 2007 can do in next year's competition. For everyone here at PNN, I'm Melody Gomez. Have a great summer.